So I got a comment today asking me, bro, how can I improve my spoken English like you? Please make a dedicated video. Well, here's the video from Technology. A lot of you may not believe it, but this is not what I sounded like when I first started speaking English. I was sounding like this. So when I first started speaking English, it was a very thick African accent, a Setswana accent mixed with English, because when I was, I think 9 to 10 years old, I traveled to Botswana. I was living in a village called Pelape. So I started speaking English, but I also started picking up the Setswana accent along with it. So my English used to sound very like this. I used to go to school and I used to obviously learn in English. It was very broken, it would sound like, I was not speaking English, you get me? It was very Bangladeshi and very Setswana influenced. I think the very first thing that a lot of you need to keep in mind when learning to speak English is that it's gonna take time. Nothing is gonna just, happen overnight. It's gonna take time. You need to put that thing in your head that if I want to learn something and I truly want to master it or get really good at it, it's gonna take time. Put that shit in your head. Throughout primary school, I was still sounding like this. Then I think when I went to grade 8, and that's when I moved to the city, Gaborone. All the kids, they spoke English in a little bit more fancy way, like they used a little bit more complicated words, sophisticated words. So that's a second lesson. Try learning synonyms of the basic words that you use, like, oh, I'm feeling happy today. Maybe you can be like, oh, I'm content. So you can be a lot more precise with the way that you're trying to convey how you feel or the message that you're trying to tell. So learning synonyms of like the most basic words. Around this time I was also watching a lot of YouTube, and the people who I was watching, were Americans. So I guess I got influenced by that, and I was like, I don't like my accent and I want to change that. So I started trying my best to speak with a British accent, but obviously it was like really fake. And like everybody knew it, but they didn't, nobody called out on it. Cause like, I don't know. I was trying to speak in the same manner as the YouTubers that I was speaking. So I'll be speaking like this, man. Like I'm from NYC, bro. So I started like picking up on their accent, and I started speaking in that way. Even though I was speaking English in that way, I was still not doing that great when it came to English. Every time there was a test, I used to get 48%, and I would need literally 1 mark to pass that exam, and I wouldn't pass it. So I went to my teacher and asked her, like, what's the problem? Like, why am I not being able to get good at English? And she told me it's my vocabulary. And she told me, like, go read books, which is, I think it's outdated advice, okay? What I did, I went to the dictionary and I picked words that I found interesting. So I would randomly open and I would be like, this word, you know what? It seems very interesting. So I'll write it down, and then I'll try using it in a sentence. And then I got good at it. Obviously now I speak like a 5-year-old. I don't speak like how I used to speak. You also start sounding like a geek. If English is the second language, definitely there's going to be an influence of an accent. So I would say, try picking up the accent. Like, there are so many videos on YouTube where people are teaching you how to say a word in a certain accent. Also, there were certain words that I used to just say in the most stupidest way. Like, I think chirp, like, birds chirping, I used to say chippering. And I didn't know, bro. So, yeah, you just have to keep trying. And I think even like nowadays you can just write a word and you can see the meaning, and then on Google you can just click on the speaker and you can literally listen to how it's said and try making your tongue click in that exact same way. You feel me? This is probably the most important thing. Tonality. How is it that you're saying the words that you're saying? You see, if I were to just speak like this with a one monotone and I was just like, yes, how are you doing? I would sound extremely boring. So you need to put a certain emphasis on certain words when you're speaking, or you need to increase your volume or decrease it depending on the scenario. It is a little bit theatrical, but that is something that a lot of people don't know. And it's something that is a very powerful tool. You can use it to make friends. You can use it to basically give a very good speech, and people are moved by it. Where, I don't know if you have watched motivational speakers or not, they usually are like, oh, hi, how are you doing? They'll be like, you need to do this, you need to what are you doing? You can't be doing this. You feel me? You need to like have the right tone when you're speaking. So that is something I would definitely tell you to go and check out. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, so go and definitely check out Tonality. And obviously I got good because I speak to a camera a lot of the time. So whenever you do that, you just have to slowly build up that confidence. Confidence is not something that you just have out of nowhere. You build it, and it takes time. Alright, bye.